Hello. So I'm going to be doing a review on the Huda Beauty foundation and primer. I just received the package. I'm so excited to try this. This is my first video where I talk, so I'll probably be a little awkward. Anyway, so here is the Huda Beauty foundation and the water jelly primer. And I got the shade Toasted Coconut in 240N. So let's get started. I just washed my face. You want to make sure you always start with a clean face. And this is what it looks like. Let's see. Ooh, it's like a little square. It's so fun. That's what it looks like. I'm not gonna need too much. I'll put that aside for now. And then here is the water jelly, which I'm excited for because usually jellies like this feel really sticky on your face. And let me test it out on my hand. It literally feels like water. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so we're gonna start off with the primer. And I like to do a couple pumps to make sure you're hydrated. Gotta put the hair back. And it feels really good. It doesn't feel sticky at all. Super hydrating. I literally feel like I just wet my face with water right now. Okay, so I'll let that dry for a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'm going to open this up and I'll see if this is a good shade. Oh my gosh, it's actually a really good shade. You always want to make sure you match your neck because your face is always going to be a little bit more pink, more red. So always make sure you match your neck and your chest. It feels okay. I feel like for my, preference, it's a little bit too thick, like cakey-ish, which I like more of a natural finish, but it has a good coverage. It covered all my redness that I had around my cheeks. I'll go ahead and finish the rest of them. Okay, so I wasn't going to show this part, but I might as well just do a whole routine since I can show you guys what I like to use. So this is it's like a mini Tarte concealer. It's the Shape Tape Contour Concealer. And I really like it because it has a good coverage and you don't need too much. You want to use, that's why I like using these, because this is good to pat on your face and then this is good for the edges and the corners. Contour, it's a cream contour and I alternate between shades, but this one's my favorite. It's a little bit warmer. Don't get more for your cheeks because then you're gonna have two crazy different tones. So whatever's left on your brush, drag it down and then you can start going towards your jawline. Sponge again and you use the corner of the top and then you start blending. This is done. And this is just a really light type of contour. If I was going to do something for like a photo shoot, I'd go a little bit more intense. This is just kind of for like a little, like an everyday type of look if you like a lot of makeup. If not, this is good for like a baby shower or a day type of party. So now for the nose contour, you want to grab the same color that you use on your cheeks, so you don't have two different tones, but use a smaller brush. And then something that's a little angled. And just because it's going to be directly on your nose, the excessive product, you just get some off on your hand, and then you start, I start at around here and drag it all the way down. I know that my nose is a little crooked, so it goes more this way. So it's gonna feel weird going against that angle, but trust me, it'll pay off. Okay, and then you start again here at about mid-eye. And you drag down, and then you kind of go inwards. So don't look at your nose, just look at the shape that you're creating. And make sure it's lined up. So if I were to go with my actual nose, then I would go slanted. But I want to create that illusion to go straight down. You see how it's like in the middle of my nose, but that's the point. And don't worry, you're gonna blend it out in a bit. Okay, and now you grab whatever else product you have and you drag it down. And in the tip of your nose, you just tap it in, and then again you drag down. Okay. And then you can also, just to give a little bit more of a dimension, you can do it in between the crease of your nostril to kind of bring that out a little more. And this lighting isn't the greatest, but once I'm done, you'll be able to see it better. Alright, so now that you have that, you want to take a sponge. I use the Kat Von D. It's like a mini translucent setting powder, but you can use the big one or any translucent setting powder. And I like to get the tip of it, put it here. Then what you want to do is go right under that line that you created. So it can define that darker line. So once that is setting, when that is setting, just leave it alone. You want to get the same sponge, and then you want to do your under eyes. That way it can get in between the creases. That way you don't have the creasing that is caused by the foundation or concealer. You want to just dab it in. Don't just drag it, because then it's not gonna set in. You want to dab it inside the creases. Okay, and then you can also do your chin. I know a lot of people like to do this here, which is great for, you know, pictures and stuff, but I mean, I can show you. I don't normally do this for like an everyday makeup, but it really helps create that dimension for pictures, for sure. So you want to start here. And like I said, my face is not symmetrical at all. So you have to kind of be the artist and create those lines that you don't have. Okay, so while that is setting, you can kind of set with whatever you have left, set your T-zone, because this is really good for people who have oily skin. Since the particles are smaller, it'll help absorb all those extra oils. So you can just tap on your T-zone a little, and it'll help with that oiliness. Okay, so while you're baking, let's move on to brows. My favorite, I literally use this every single time. I have a lot of different ones, but this is my favorite, the Anastasia Dip Brow. I always love to use a soft brown because you can build it up. You can make it really light or really dark depending how heavy you apply it. And I like to use the Morphe, it doesn't have a number, but it's the Morphe brush with the little angled edge and the spoolie. So what you want to do is apply some on your brush. You don't want to go directly to your brow because then you'll have way too much product. So you want to take a little bit off. See how dark that is? You don't want that darkness on your brow. Okay. Now that you have some product off, then you go ahead and create a base. So you want to go underneath your brow. Okay, once you have that underneath, the base underneath, then I would start about here and follow that same line. Just a little turn here. So the base is going to create pretty much a guide for the top. So at the top, you're just going to mirror what you created on the base. And then you don't want to go here yet because you don't want that dark. So you want to apply the rest of the product and focus on the edge or at the end of the brow. Okay, so once you're focused there, then you can drag whatever's left on your brush and finish up that line on top. So once you have those two, you just fill it in very lightly. Very light strokes. And if you feel like you applied a little bit too much towards the front, then see, like I feel like I need a little bit more. Sometimes you'll need a little bit more. You just dip your brush a little bit in there, and you create that line. So once that's created, to make it more natural and less harsh, you use a spoolie or any spoolie, and then you just brush it lightly. That way you don't have that harsh line there. And then what you can do is just kind of, with your finger, adjust how far you want it. You don't want it too far or too short. Just want it a little bit farther than the inner corner of your eye. And then for the edge, you can leave it like that, or you can do the concealer, which I don't like to use anymore. It used to be in trend before, putting the concealer under and cutting it, but I feel like that looks less natural. So again, if you're gonna do pictures or photo shoot, then that would be really great. And I can do a video on how to do those perfect brows, but you know, if it's just gonna be a little day party or an everyday look, I wouldn't suggest to cut it because then it's gonna look less natural. So I'm gonna finish up the other brow. All right, so let's start the other brow. Same thing, dip it in there and then take some off on your hand. So what you can do is, don't draw a line, but just go over as if you were. Draw an imaginary line here. And then you apply your brush. Again, you want to create that base, that bottom base. And it's not going to be perfect, but you can adjust it. Don't worry, brows are never the same. Unless you're using geometrical shapes or something. Okay, so once you have your base, then like this one, don't want to go too far out, but then be near that bottom guide. Okay. So you put the rest of the product towards the end of your brow. And then whatever's left on your brush, you do some white strips. It's not perfect, but it's good. And then for the front, again, if you have too much product or if you want to make it lighter, just brush lightly towards the front. And just adjust it how you'd like to match the other brow. Like again, they're not going to be perfect, exactly the same. But this is fine for me. Alright. Her bronzer, it's called Park Avenue Princess. It's a waterproof bronzer. So you want to use a brush that's pretty dense like this. That way you can create that dimension. So apply some on the brush. Always tap off the excess. And then just go alongside that first cream contour you did. This is what it looks like. And I kind of use mix the colors. I like to use these two. They look really harsh on here, but when you apply it, it's not too bad. It's really light. And you don't want to make it too harsh because then you'll look like clown. And then also on the other side. So you just want to apply it at the beginning here. Okay, now that you have your blush applied, what you can do is get this darker one or something that's a bit darker with some shimmer and drag it towards your bronze. Okay. And now when you have that, you can get an even thinner brush. And this here is the Morphe. It doesn't have a number, but it's a little thin one like that. So you get the highlight. I love this highlight. It's really good. And you add some right above your cheekbone. Right above your cheekbone. And then you want to do under your brow bone. Well, on your brow bone, under your eyebrow. Okay, then we'll add some at the tip. Some on your nose. You're done with that. And I'm not gonna do eyelashes because I have my lashes done by Crystal Rose. And I love them because they look so natural. It just looks like I put mascara on. So what you can do actually for a subtle look, whatever you use for your blush, you can add on your eyelids. So just mix these two. And you add it on your eyelid. And then a good tip for people who have eyelash extensions is you can use your finger so you won't have that fallout on your lashes. So put it on your finger and then just dab it into your eyelid. Alright. And then you want to do the bottom. So L'Oreal. The reason why I love it is because of the brush. It's a plastic thin brush and it's perfect for So NYX, it's professional and it's in the color Ever. So I just like to line. And this color is so good for any look. Line and then in the corner a little. And don't do like a crazy dark line either. Just do it really wet. And then the edge. And then whatever you have on the corner that you applied, just kind of drag it with your finger. The Urban Decay All Nighter. It's like hairspray for your face. The Huda Beauty foundation. It has a pretty good finish, but like I said, I like it more natural. So for me, it's a little bit cakey, but I wouldn't mind it if I'm going to a party or a day event. So there's the look, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I felt like I talked too much. Let me know if you guys want to see something different, or if you'd rather prefer videos where I do a quick makeup look. I really like doing this because I can explain to you guys in detail what I'm doing, because it's when I'm doing edits and I'm writing down the details, I feel like it's too much information just to write it down. So this is a quick little look, just to kind of show you the foundation and how it feels. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos. I don't know what you say. Like and share. Thank you. Bye, guys.